So I tore a muscle in my calf, and I'm kind of stuck on the couch, and I'm bored. So, seems like as good a time as any to finally do one of these annual YouTube surveys. Here we go. Annual YouTube survey. What's your biggest fear? Being alone? I mean, on a sort of existential grand scale, in the sense of like, what if I never find someone who connects with me and I'm alone for the rest of my life? And also sort of a leftover childhood fear of the dark thing. If I'm home alone in the dark and I hear weird noises, I still have the ability to get phenomenally terrified and jump up and turn all the lights on and peer out the front peephole and make sure I know where the cat is and whatever else. How did you find out Santa wasn't real? Well, I'm Jewish, so I'm actually not sure if I ever thought Santa was real. Like, I remember going along with it when I was a kid with my friends. I remember wanting to sit on Santa's lap at the mall, and my parents wouldn't let me. But my godparents were like, yeah, as long as they're okay with you sitting on Santa's lap and not paying for photos. And I remember sitting on Santa's lap, and he asked what I wanted for Christmas, and I'm like, oh, I'm not Christian, I'm Jewish. And he was like, okay. Because all the other kids were doing it, and I thought it looked fun, so I thought I'd try it. I don't remember if I ever actually believed it. I certainly don't remember lording it over the other kids that I knew and they didn't, but I also didn't feel cheated or something that Santa didn't come to my house. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. What's the best idea you've ever had? I think starting a band was one of my better ideas. 4.5 years ago, I decided I wanted to start a band, and we sell out shows, and we did a little tour, and we had a successful Kickstarter and put out a studio album. People like us, so yeah, starting a band was a pretty good idea. What's the most embarrassing thing your parents have ever done? I'm sure my parents have done something more embarrassing than this, but the only thing that comes to mind is when I was in middle school, I had a huge crush on this boy named Alec. He was also one of my best friends. I ran into him at the mall, and when I said, Mom, this is my friend Alec, she went, oh, Alec, I've heard so much about. And at that point I managed to give her the, what the fuck are you doing face? And she went, the project you two are doing for social studies. Good save, but I was still mortified and positive that he knew. For 7th grade anyway, that was pretty embarrassing. If you were only allowed to have one career for the rest of your life, what would it be? This one's really hard because, you know, I'm 31 years old and I've already gone through a few at this point. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor. When I first went to college, I was studying web design. Then I decided I wanted to be a music journalist and actually did that freelance for about 5 years. Burned out on that, and now I'm kind of writing fiction and performing in my band, and I've got my solo thing. So, I don't know, I feel like, while I'm very happy right now doing music and writing, and I would feel like I'd be pretty happy to continue doing that, I'm open to the possibility of something totally different that I wouldn't necessarily predict. If I had to pick one, I'd be pretty happy to stick with music and writing. That'll do.